Hey everybody, Professor Smith here. Hope everybody's doing well and that your Monday is off to a really great start. I know when I'm filming this, it's still pretty early in the morning, but I still hope it's been a great morning nonetheless. This video, I want to spend some time talking about this week's discussion board. The reason I want to spend the video is make the video, is because I'm making a slight change to what we're reading, and I thought I would clarify that with my face and my voice. And I also just wanted to go over some of the nuance of what I'm asking you to please accomplish this week. So let's turn to the actual discussion board as I'm going to post it so that we could read it together. All right, here we go. Bye. Boom. Okay, so the top section is, I should probably even put this, notes for the week. Right. The top section is notes for the week. First, do not read the New York Times article from the syllabus. Considering the recent news, I want us to focus on something slightly different this week. So the article I had posted was Rethinking COVID-19 in Children by Perry Klass. Please, if it sounds like an interesting title or may work for your project, by all means. It's a short and relatively interesting article, but considering the news, as I mentioned earlier, I want to focus on something slightly different. What is this news I'm referring to? So for those of you who've been watching, listening, even hearing other people talk about the news over the last week or so, in whatever form of news, like whether it's CNN or Fox or internet or print media, but you may have heard that COVID-19 rates are rising across the country. They're rising in Europe, they're rising in China, they're rising in Iran, so it's kind of safe to say that coronavirus rates, deaths, and positive results are going up. To a point where it's actually pretty alarming in certain countries. It's like if you look at, if you look at certain European countries like France, England, and Germany, things are getting out of hand. Things are getting out of hand there as well. England, the Prime Minister Boris Johnson just recently announced that the government is shutting down again. Not the government, but the country. Non-essential jobs are shutting down again from now until, I believe, the beginning of December. Germany, I believe, is in the process of shutting down as well. I'm not sure if France has yet, but I know that they are in talks of doing certain things. For those of you who might live in Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx, you may be familiar with some of the red zones that de Blasio has set up, where only certain small areas of these boroughs are being locked down because of high infection rates of COVID. So this is kind of what I wanted to read about, to listen about, to talk about, to think about this week. The rising rates of COVID that are happening pretty much across the world. Some countries, some states are definitely doing better than others, but it seems like most places, not all, but a good portion of places are on some sort of rise, whether it's unbearable like it is in England, or whether it's just, we should be a little careful. So what I would like for us to do this week is to take a deeper dive into the current coronavirus situation and what this winter may have in store for us. So let's go over the steps of what I'm asking you to do, and then we'll get into the writing. Okay, so just before we get into step one, please remember, don't read this unless you want to. It's beneficial, it's helpful, it's interesting, but it's not what I'm asking you to do for the discussion board. So step one is to please read this article instead from the New York Times. I should capitalize that. First letters in major words get capitalized in a title. It's a short title, so I'm putting it in quotation marks, as you can see, right? Boom, here. The larger publication, the big thing, that's in italics, because that's MLA. So please read this article. It's relatively short. but it gets at some of just the hard numbers. So it's a bit more general and a bit more about the numbers at large, what's happening, especially in this country. So it's just to give like a kind of general overview of the influx of numbers. The second step is to please watch this short video from the Washington Post titled "Why COVID Isn't Going Away Anytime Soon." This one's about 11 and a half, maybe a little longer, closer to 12 minutes. And it talks to a few reporters and, reporters, doctors, virologists who study infectious diseases and viruses. So it goes over our current situation, why things are getting bad, and what we have to look forward to in the future with certain vaccinations or therapies and things along those lines. So reading and watching is going to give you the framework necessary in which to do step 3, which is to begin thinking and ultimately writing down your discussion board entry for the week. So step 3, begin to think about why cases are going up across the US, parts of Europe, and even spots in Iran. All right, I could have made that list a lot longer, but I chose to just pick a few different places. As you were thinking, that should be a comma. I want you to try and pick one cause in spikes that you think is the main culprit. So I don't believe, as I would imagine most politicians or doctors or virologists believe, that it's not just one thing that is causing the spikes. It's not just what's that? Something fatigue. What's that word I'm looking for? Where can I think of it? Quarantine fatigue. That's probably a big part of it. I would think that's one of the biggest. I'd probably pick that if I was writing this, based on what I've been reading and thinking about and writing and talking to other people about. But there are other causes as well for why the numbers are going up. So I really want you to try and focus on one specific instance, even though we can recognize that it's a multitude of different things, big and small, that are leading to the rise in numbers, whether it's government policy, how things are opening, whatever the case may be. So I want you to pick what you think is the biggest cause of this. What I would like for you to try and do is I'm hoping that you can I'm hoping that, or I would like you to use information from the above article and video. And if you need, find another source, a short news article or video that can help back up what you're saying. I am asking your opinion. I am asking for what you think is going to happen or what you think is the main cause. But I would like for you to try and back up your thinking with some level of information, some other level of information that other people are confirming that they agree with you, or some stats or some facts, or just other thinkers or theorists who are well educated who are helping you push your idea out. So use the article, use the video, use other articles we've read together, or see if you can find something else. I would really like for you to have a quote or two in the mix today. So with that, let's get into what to write, right? So step 3 is us thinking, and I guess we could say step 4, what to write. Step 4. Let's make that bold and italics and make it look nice and stand out a little bit. Let's get rid of that. Step 4, what to write. Please, in paragraph form, 500 words or more, address these questions, the below questions. Feel free to combine and to mix or match those questions, but I would like you to address all 5 in some depth. Some you might have a little more, some you might have a little less. Also, and this is important, I don't know if I should put a little star here. Please use at least 2 quotes from the video, New York Times article, or the article you find. So it can be 1 and 1 or 1 and 1, but I would like for you to please have quotes in this discussion board. And I feel like I shouldn't have to mention it, but I will. MLA citation. Sorry. Text and works site. Okay, so 5 questions are, and I'll read the questions. I'll try and address them in a bit more depth and even explain a little bit why I've chosen these questions. Take a sip of coffee first. 1. What do you think is one of the leading causes of COVID-19 cases spiking throughout the world? So, as I mentioned above, I would like for you to now write it down, and I would like for you to spend a little time talking about why that is the case. That leads us to question 2. Why do you think this one is such a big cause? Why is it bigger than other causes, right? So, as I was mentioning, there are many causes why numbers are going up. I'm asking you to choose one. And in question 2, I'm asking you to address why you think what you've chosen is bigger than something else per se. So almost like a compare and contrast, so to speak. 3, based on your answers above, so for 1 and 2, what can we specifically do to stop the spread and bring numbers down? Why will it work? So whether this is from the video or whether you're doing a little bit of research, I'd like for you to give some sort of solution. I know you're not a doctor. I know haven't studied viruses and spread of viruses for the last 20 years, but I am interested in your thoughts. So, 3. Now, number 4. What do you think this winter and our holiday season is going to look like? I was driving this morning, and I was listening to the news. And it seems like, I forget if it was the CDC or another organization, but they were like, hey, Thanksgiving, you shouldn't hang out with your family. You should only have Thanksgiving dinner with those who you are living with. And I'm like, oh, but I have plans with my family. So I am curious to know what this winter is going to look like, and our holiday season is going to look like. So I'm curious to know what you think about that. I also am curious a little bit about what you're planning to do. If you don't want to answer that, you don't have to. So if you choose to, thank you. If not, no harm, no foul. If you address the other stuff, we will be all good. So number 5, 5th, finally, here we go. Are you hopeful that we will ever get back to normal? What is normal? Pre-COVID-19 normal. December 18th, 2019. That's normal. Are you hopeful we'll get back to normal? We keep saying that 2020 has been the worst, and of course it's been bad, horrible, definitely one of the worst in history. But what about 21 and 22, and so on and so forth? I keep hearing people say, oh, I can't wait for 2020 to be over. I'm with you on that. But January 1st, 2021, COVID will probably still be a thing, and quarantine might be there, so it's, just a weird thought of like trying to think about the future. So I'm asking you to project into the future 1, 2, 3, 4, even 5 years, and think about when we'll get back to normal, and if we'll get back to normal, and what that normal may or may look like. So with that, get to your discussion boards. We only have a few more of these left, so if you haven't been doing your discussion boards, I would really recommend starting to do them now. They're 20 points of your grade, and they're pretty much worth about 1.5 to 2 points, somewhere between there, per week. So for weeks that you haven't posted, you're losing those points. And I'm expecting you to post, as I've said many times at this point, 2 to 3 times throughout the week. You got any questions? You know how to find me. I'm trying to be really good with my email. I'm doing video chats, so if you got any specific questions and you want to catch up and talk, by all means, that's fine. So let me just show my face one last time. We'll say goodbye. So everybody, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're safe. I hope your family's safe. And I hope that the semester is moving along. I also hope that your projects are coming along well. And I'm excited to read those when you submit those. And God, it's the second today, so about 20 some odd days. All right, cool. So, my hand, sorry. We'll talk soon. Bye.